if you look at the merits, so Yeshiva is a university that is explicitly a Jewish university. It was founded to teach students, but to teach them to live according to the Torah. So it is unlike some universities that are nominally religious and don't take their religious founding seriously. Yeshiva is an institution that still takes very seriously its mission to educate young Jewish students in a host of disciplines, but consistent with their understanding and their faith. There was a group of students on campus who disagree with the teachings at Yeshiva University concerning that what the Bible says of concerning homosexuality, and they wanted to form a student group that was a gay lesbian group, and they wanted the university to officially acknowledge them and accept them as a gay lesbian group because they wanted that statement it would force Yeshiva to make. So they petitioned to be accepted as an official student group. And actually, Yeshiva had an extensive process where they had the senior rabbis there debate amongst themselves what would be the right resolution. So these were, clerics, religious figures, rabbis, debating consistent with their interpretation of the Torah, how should they resolve this? And what they ended up concluding is that they would not recognize the group because doing so would be their stating that the group is consistent with their faith, and the rabbis did not believe it was. However, they told the group, you're welcome to get together and socialize. We're not preventing you from getting together with your friends and socializing. We're just not going to speak our official imprimatur that we agree with your interpretation of the Torah. Well, the group turned around and filed a lawsuit and went to New York State Court and argued that by declining to recognize them, it violated New York's civil rights law, which prohibit discrimination based on sexual orientation. And they won. They won. The New York trial court ruled for them and ordered Yeshiva, you must recognize this organization and give it official recognition. And Yeshiva brought an emergency motion to the Supreme Court, actually brought it initially to Justice Sotomayor. And the way it works on emergency appeals, you go to initially a single circuit justice, and Justice Sotomayor is the circuit justice for the Second Circuit, which encompasses New York. And an individual justice can resolve it herself or himself, or he or she can refer it to the entire court. In this case, Justice Sotomayor referred it to the entire court, which is what they do on anything seriously controversial, because if a justice grants an order, the full court could overturn them. So if they think it's going to be controversial, they fairly routinely refer it to the whole court. Justice Sotomayor did here. And the court denied the application for stay. The reasoning, so the majority opinion, it's a very short, it's just over a page long. And what the majority says, look, the university can still seek emergency relief from the New York State courts. It can file an expedited appeal in the New York State courts, or it can file for a stay in the New York State courts of the lower court's decision. And the majority says until it does that, we're not going to get involved, although the majority also goes on to say if it is denied those options, the university can come back here and seek emergency relief from us. So the dissent is written by Justice Alito, and it's joined by Justice Thomas and Gorsuch and Barrett. And the dissent argues, number one, on the merits, I think quite rightly, that the core of the First Amendment is being able to make religious determinations, in this case, yeshiva, rabbis studying the Torah, making their own determinations of what the Torah teaches and what it means. That's right at the heart of what the First Amendment protection of religious liberty is about, is your right or my right to determine our own faith and determine our own faith derived from whatever scriptures or holy books that we read and give reference to. And Justice Alito explains that by forcing yeshiva to do this, it is forcing yeshiva to affirmatively state an interpretation of the Torah contrary to that arrived upon by the rabbis, the senior rabbis at Yeshiva University. And that is a core First Amendment violation. And they go through the ordinary standards for granting a stay and argue that this meets those standards. You know, the nub of the disagreement comes down to Justice Alito and the dissenters say the result of this decision is that yeshiva is going to be forced to acknowledge and recognize this gay lesbian group contrary to its religious faith. And it will be forced to acknowledge and recognize them for some period of months that could extend the time it will take to pursue the expedited relief of the New York State court. It will have to violate its religious faith in the interim time.